guests, especially the members of the media. Before we start our press conference, allow me to acknowledge the distinguished guests seated in front. Secretary Benjamin Avalos Jr., sir, the Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government and Chairperson of the Special Task Force Degamo. Secretary Jesus Crispin Rubio, sir, of the Department of Justice, the Co-Vice Chairperson of STF Degamo. Senior Undersecretary Carlito Galvez Jr., sir, the officer in charge of the Department of National Defense and also the Co-Vice Chairperson of the STF Degamo. General Andres Centino, sir, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Police Lieutenant General Ricardo De Leon, sir, the Director General of National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. Police General Rodolfo S. Asuin Jr., the Chief of the Philippine National Police, and Police Major General John Aristomo, the Deputy Chief of PNP Corporation, the Task Force Commander of SITG Degamo. Before we
of the crime and location of the remaining suspects to come out and cooperate with government authorities so that justice can be served to the victims of this gruesome crime. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
we heard short statements from the OIC of the, of course, the Secretary of the Department of Justice.
Thank you. As stated by Secretary Avalos, we now have in our custody 10 persons, 9 of whom participated directly in the attack against Governor Degamo, and the 8 other victims and the 8 other deaths that happened and the other injuries that were sustained by the people. These 9 people have been talking to the authorities about their roles in the incident that happened last March 4, and we expect much more results in the next few days when we are able to speak to the rest of the suspects, because we have not yet formalized their statements. We will be getting their formal statements in the next few hours and the next few days. We have to be very systematic about getting the statements, and we have to be very, very thorough about the facts that we can elicit from these people. And we expect that the evidence will turn up already against the masterminds in a few days. We believe that it will be a good time to name the masterminds after we have spoken to the 9 suspects. There will be a lot of revelations that we expect to happen. So I'd like to congratulate the members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines for their invaluable support in this operation. Of course, the Philippine National Police was very, very instrumental in paving the way for many of the information to filter through for the task force to move forward. So we just have to go on with the work, and the NBI is now actually in the middle of everything, getting the statements of these suspects and trying to get the most important facts out so that we can build our case. Ang tawag ko dito, case build-up na doon tayo. We're now building up the cases that we will be filing in the next few days. Mapasalamat rin po kami sa NBI. Siyempre dahil wala akong tigil ng support role na NBI dito na tutulong ng tulong. At salamat po sa lahat na kasama sa effort, kasi hindi ko madaling gawin to. But it just shows that the whole of government cannot be defeated by anybody. Hindi ko kaya ang whole of government natin. We are resolute in this pursuit for justice, and we will not stop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May we also request our OIC DND Secretary Galvez, sir, to give a few words, sir.
Unang-una sa lahat po, kaya po na sinabi ng ating task force commander, si Secretary Pedro Avalos, nung unang tumawag po siya sa akin, nangyari po yun, talagang humingi po siya ng tulong para sa solve dito sa ating karubat-duman na patay kay Governor Degamo, ay tuloy-tuloy na po na tumulong ang ating armed forces. And then afterwards, the President called out call over for the service of the armed forces. And within 10 days, we were able to see na yung lahat ng involved, yung 10 involved, ay nakita po lahat sa atin. And we'd like to congratulate the joint effort of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, especially under General Santino, at ang ating mga kapulisan at ang member ng NBI na halos yung ginagawa po namin na every other day nag-meeting po kami dito sa PNP at sa DILG para at least ma-focus po natin yung operation po natin. Madam, as we have, Ma'am Janice, as we have promised to you, the President, that we will give justice. At nung pumunta po kami sa inyo, na sinabi po namin na there is always time for reckoning, and the reckoning is today. And now, the reckoning is God is good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, sir. Before we start our question hour, may we remind our media friends and partners, we can entertain one question and one follow-up so we could entertain and accommodate others. The first to ask questions, sir, is Mr. Mar Gabriel of Net25, followed by Ms. Leia Ilagan of UNP.
Hi, sirs. Good afternoon po. Sir, may we know kung anong mga bagong information ang i-share sa atin ng mga bagong na sumuko ng mga suspect na hindi na ibigay ng mga nauna nating na-aresto at napasuko?
Well, they're still undergoing a tactical interrogation right now. No? Kaya tinatanong pa sila for the case build-up.
Itong new batch kasi was able to withdraw from the scene and stay in a safe house, and were extracted to another place. So we have an idea of how things happened after. At least yung first part kasi, hot pursuit, nahuli na natin yung mga tao, yung first part ng mga suspects. Ito naman, what happened after yung kanilang pinapaliwanag, pero hindi pa kami kumpleto sa details, which is still very sketchy, and we're getting the details out. Hopefully by Saturday, tapos na kami sa questioning at question and answer format na ginagawa namin.
But what is interesting here is that of the 10 under custody, 9 are ex-military and 1 is an ex-military trainee who did not finish the course. So from this, makikita mo yung training ng mga taong to. That's quite interesting.
Sir, based dun sa mga initial info na ibinigay ng mga suspect, how confident po tayo na makakapag-file tayo ng airtight case against the mastermind at sa mga suspect?
We're very confident. It's just a matter of time. We just have to get all the statements together so we can link all the evidence together. Pero magagawa namin. We will identify the masterminds, at least the first ones that will come out.
Ms. Leia, please.
Good afternoon, sirs. Sir, bukod po dun sa mga testimonya ng mga nahuling suspect, ano pa po ang hawak nating ebidensya na magdidiin doon sa mastermind?
Marami pa kami hawak na iba. Hindi lang namin pwede i-detail yan. At yung mga baril naman nahuli kagad, no hot pursuit. Marami kami nakuha ng ibang ebidensya.
Kasi ang mahirap po yung piecemeal pagbibigay namin. Sana maunawaan ng mga nakikinig po ng mga kababayan natin. Mas maganda kung matapos na lahat ng investigasyon, isang latag, isang ang gusto na namin sabihin ngayon is that ang dami na ng nakuha ng under custody. You could just imagine yung dami ng informasyon na nakuha natin. Sabi nga ni SOJ, yung una hot pursuit, pagkatapos ito lumipas ang ilang araw, lumipat ng lugar, nahuli pa rin, nadakit pa rin sila. So doon pala makikita nyo yung lawak ng ebidensyang hawak natin habang tumatagal. Okay.
Actually, we can treat this as a surrender. Kasi the pressure of the task force, the work of the government is very, very much felt on the ground. Kaya we believe that this caused a lot of people to surrender because they know that we will not stop, we will not relent, and that it's a better decision to cooperate with government. That's why we treat the last five people that we have taken into custody as surrenders. They are surrenders.
Sir, doon po sa 10 hawak nyo, ilan po doon ang nagdidiin sa iisang master na? O meron silang impormasyon na para pareho na sinasabi nila na ito yung master?
Wala pa kaming statement dyan kasi hindi pa kompleto ang statements ng lahat. We have to talk to everybody, at least the last few suspects that have surrendered to us. Kakausapin pa namin para malaman namin. Pero ano yan totality of circumstance pa rin yan. Malalaman namin from everything kung sino ang mastermind.
Thank you, sir.
May we call on Ms. Marisol Abduraman of GMA7, followed by Mr. Paul Montibon of SMNI.
Secretary Aguinaldo, sir, you mentioned that 9 out of 10 have direct participation. Can you elaborate, like how direct is their participation po? Kasama po ba dito sa siyang yung mismo bumaril sa governor?
Well, talagang direct na nandun. Talagang direct. Pag-file dito, malalaman nyo. Pero kung sinasabing namin direct participation, the word direct is within that crime scene itself.
So kasama po doon yung mismo bumaril sa governor o secretary?
Well, nandun, the word is direct. So, at least makikita nyo kasama ito sa mga operations.
Sir,
So, ganun katindi ito. If you're looking at the videos, bilangin mo kung ilang tao at yung nasa labas, then you will get an idea kung ilan na halos ang nakuha. Okay?
sir, did they mention?
That's why I would really like to commend the valuable work of General Santino and his men here again, of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Hindi biro itong nagawang ito dahil it's not just at pursuit. As explained by the Secretary of Justice, ito yung nangyari afterwards. I mean, ito'y nagpulasan na. Nasa ibang lugar na. And yet, because of this effort, ganun pa rin they're now in custody. It's a good, it's really an immense effort, and it's worth the effort, so I would really like to commend them on this. Yes, Marisol.
It's also a product of excellent intelligence work. You can say, excellent intelligence work.
Sir, did they mention, at least man lang sa mga hawak nila ngayon, kung sila mismo ang direktang kausap ng mastermind? And meron po ba silang binigay lang yun?
Well, everything, as I've said, sana maunawaan ng ating mga kaibigan ngayon. Nilalabas namin lang ito para alam po ninyo yung progress at more or less masiship nyo sa iniisip ninyo na maganda ang tinatahak namin. Pero sana maunawaan nyo rin, ayaw muna namin ibigay ang lahat ng informasyon hanggang handa na po talagang maisampa sa korte po ito.
Marisol, I think that we cannot expect all conspiracies to happen in the same way whenever a crime is committed. So when you ask that question, we're presuming something already. So we have to look at the totality of everything. And we're still doing that.
Thank you, Ms. Marisol. Mr. Paul Montibon, sir.
Good afternoon po. Itatanong lang po namin kung paano po ninyo napagsasabay ang investigation, pagkuha ng mga informations doon sa mga direct na may direct involvement dito sa case na to, doon naman sa indirect po na mag-involvement sa crime, lalong-lalo na kasi bukod doon sa nag-surrender po, may mga hinahanap pa po tayo, di po ba, doon sa profits.
Kamukha ng sinabi ko po, no? Yung 10 na nakuha yung tanong ni Marisol ay direct, hindi ba? So ngayon, may mga case build-up tayo, importante ang intelligence work, importante rito ang tulong ng ating mga kababayan, no, tungkol sa mga tips, yung mga nakakatanggap din tayo rito. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ito. Ang importante, dumadami lalo ang informasyon at dumadami ang sumusurrender. Yun ang importante, kaya nga sa iba pa nakakaalam dito, sa iba pa may kinalaman dito. Naku po, kamukha ng paulit-ulit namin sinasabi. Mag-isip-isip na kayo. Sumuko na rin kayo. Sumuko na rin kayo. Wala na kayong pupuntahan dito. Kompleto ang military, kompleto ang police, no? Kompleto po rito. Ito na whole of the government approach, no? Kamukha ng pinangako ng ating mahal na presidente. Talagang gagamitin natin ng legal ang gobyerno para matugis ang mga pumaslang nito. Kaya sumurrender na rin kayo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Secretary. Sa AFP at saka sa PNP, kumusta po yung level ngayon ng effort po ninyo doon sa Negros Island sa mga tao na pinaghahanap pa po natin? Gaano ba katindi, kahigpit yung security at paghahanap natin doon sa, particular na sa Negros Oriental?
Yes, thank you. Meron tayong nabuo din na unit doon to in Negros, composed of the brigades and battalions in Negros. As I mentioned earlier, maliban sa current taskings nila, binigyan din natin ng additional task to go to help the other agencies sa pag-unais, pag-pursue ng mga suspects, pag-protekta ng mga families of the witnesses, and even yung pamilya ng mga suspects na sumurrender. We are also securing them. And we know also na aside from those implicated, yung nandun talaga na directly participating sa nangyari, meron ding ilan na would probably be helping the direct participants in the commission of the crime. Kaya yun din ang pinagtutulungan ng AFP at PNP in our current efforts in Negros.
Okay, on the part of the PNP, we continue to conduct joint patrol with the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and we continue also to conduct the threat assessment of our elected officials at the local level. And we continue to provide additional security should there be a need of our local officials for additional security.
Thank you, sir. May we hear from Mr. Glenn Huego of DCWB, followed by Ms. Angel Ronquillo of DCXL.
Sir, nabanggit lang kanina nung company, hello sir, dito ako. Nabanggit lang po nung company, Congressman Arnie Tevez kanina. Bakit daw para bagang pinipre-judge na raw agad sila? At parang leaning towards, sila na po talaga yung may kasalanan. Sir, meron pa bang mas malalim sa investigasyon daw kumpara po kaysa po sa kanila lang nakasentro yung investigasyon?
Binanggit mo namin ang pangalan niya. Did we mention his name? I'm asking you, did we mention his name? Have we pre-judged anybody? Have we concluded anything?
Yan po ay sabi ng kampo nila sa ni Atty. Tito Passion.
If they will not come forward, they're in default. Not in choice. I don't have to say anything about what they say.
Sir, doon po sa...
Sir,
yes.
sagutin ko lang, no?
Yes, sir.
Naging very professional kami rito since the first press con. Nilalatag namin ang mga ebidensya na nakukuha namin. Binabahagi natin sa ating mga kababayan yung mga sumusuko at mga naaresto. At parati namin sinasabi, mahuhuli namin ang mastermind. Ngayon, kung sino magsasabing kung ano sasabihin nila, kung baka sila tinutukoy, opinion nila yun. Wala akong magagawa doon. Basta simple lang sinasabi namin, tutukuyin namin ang mastermind base sa ebidensya, base sa testimony, at base sa legal na pamamaraan ng ating batas.
Sir, sa defense ng siguro sa AFP, may binigit kanina si President Marcos na call kay Kong Aguinaldo na pwede siyang pumunta rito, then bibigyan ng security, magde-deploy ng security kung gusto ninyo. Any reaction to that, sir?
Kung ano po yung utos po sa atin ng ating mahal na Presidente, gagawin po namin.
Hi sir, magandang hapon po. Sir, ilan pa, Angel po from DZXL, ilan pa po yung hinahanap natin na at large sa Degamo case?
Ano to the direct conspirators, siguro may mga 5 tao pa hanggang 5 to 6 people more may have had something to do with the conspiracy to commit this murder. Kasi makikita nyo, planned ito. It's a planned attack. It was executed with military precision by former military people. At it's a very sophisticated operation that will not happen without the cooperation of many people. Kaya yun po ang kinakailangan namin pag-aralan pa. Kaya we have to piece together all the evidence.
Sir, Secretary Remulla, dun sa naunang 5 suspect po, meron po ba tayong nakikita dito na posible pong maging state witness?
That will be determined later on. The necessity of having one is one question, because I think that people voluntarily surrendering and giving their stories is a very important part of this pursuit of ours for the truth. Kusang loob binibigay yung mga testimony. That will of course benefit them in court when they do their statements voluntarily. State witnesses are considered later on in the trial proper. When they are discharged by the court, they have to be discharged by the court for certain reasons and certain conditions.
Last po kay Sir, kay PNP Chief. Sir, may banta daw po sa buhay si Congressman Teves kaya hindi siya umuwi sa bansa. Meron po ba kayong natatanggap na info na talagang may banta po siya sa buhay?
So far naman po ay wala. But we'll look into that.
May we hear from Ms. Marlene Padiernos of Bombo Radio, followed by Ms. Bea Bernardo, PTV Report.
Hello sir, good afternoon po. Sir, tanong ko lang po, papasok po ba ang Philippine National Police sa plea bargaining agreement po ngayong ito nga pong mga suspect na nasa kustodiyan na ng pamahalaan is tumutulong po sa pagbibigay ng information po sa kaso?
I think it's not the PNP that would determine that, but it would be the court or through the Department of Justice.
Kay Secretary Remulla po, sa Pilipinas.
Plea bargaining will come after the charges are filed and only if necessary. Ano lang yan eh. Basta yung marami kasing factors na kinoconsider. But some circumstances can be mitigating for those who voluntarily give the information, voluntarily surrender, and many other things can mitigate criminal responsibility. Pero plea bargain is not even considered right now.
Pero nagpahayag po pa ng willingness po itong mga bagong mga sumuko na tumulong po sa investigation, sir.
I think that's why they surrendered.
Thank you.
May we hear from Ms. Bea Bernardo?
Good afternoon po, sir. Sir, balikan ko lang po yung circumstances ng pagsuko ng mga 5 suspect. Paano po sila sumuko, kailan? And may mga natatanggap po ba silang threats kaya sumuko na po sila sa inyo?
We will reveal the operational matters later on. Hindi na muna ngayon, basta they surrender.
May we hear from Ms. Tina Nolasco, and the last to ask question is Mr. Bernard Ferrer of Sunshine Radio.
Hi sir, Bernard Sunshine Radio. To military official po siguro. Sir, isa po sa nagiging reason ni Congressman Teves kaya hindi po siya nakakabalik sa bansa ay dahil po sa banta sa kanyang buhay. May namomonitor po ba ang militar na banta sa kanyang buhay at saan po ito posibleng manggaling?
Wala tayong na-monitor na gano'n. Sabi din naman ng GPNP na walang reports na gano'n.
Kanina po,
We will look into this.
okay. Kanina po in-offer po ni Presidente na since may private jet naman daw po si Congressman, if ever kung saan siya gusto niya magland, yung kanyang private plane, i-offer the bus airbase, may arrangement na po ba sa military in case na bumalik na po si Congressman Teves, kumusta yung magiging security niya?
Nasabi ni Senator Galvez kung anong sasabihin ni Presidente na i-direct sa amin, we will perform that instruction.
Thank you, General.
Is there any other question before we terminate? We can entertain one or two questions. J-Mark Degala po.
Yes, sir. Yes, mga sir, magandang hapon po, J-Mark Degala po, Radyo Pilipinas. Tanong ko lang po kung sino po pwede makasagot. Na-recover na po ba yung baril na ginamit doon sa pagpatay kay Governor Degamo?
So first day pa lang, na-recover na. Kasama yan sa ballistics na examine niya. Nakita na yung nag-match na yung ballistics.
So yun na yung solid din natin doon, sir.
Well, evidence na yun. Kasama yan sa hot pursuit. Kasama yung mga baril na nahuli afterwards.
Thank you, sir. For our last question, Ms. Marisol.
For CISA, tapos niya sa J. Pwede. Sir, we understand these are all ex-military. Can we just note they have records if they have been involved in such crimes before?
Yun nga, very unfortunate that those involved were former military, but we say former military dahil they were discharged dishonorably years ago. Merong mga kaso sila noon kaya sila na-dismiss sa service yun. But we don't have any data before this incident na involved sila sa mga criminal activities. All we know is that they were dismissed from the service. May records kasi tayo. Some of them were even discharged dishonorably as 2008 pa nga yung iba. So matagal na sila. Yung isa doon, nag-training lang pero hindi nakapagtapos. So, kaya nga, gano'n na lang yung diligence at sipag ng armed forces to really go after them dahil na former military. That's why we commend yung mga tropa natin who really work hard for this. Of course, with the help of the other agencies na makuha talaga ito silang mga former military.
So were you able to find out, sir, if they had such crimes na involved before or you still have to find it out?
Malalaman po natin since nahuli yung iba, nasumuko naman yung iba, we can investigate, we can get the help of the PNP kung may mga records nga sila.
Thank you, Ms. Marisol. May we hear from Ms. Tina Nolasco of DWIC.
Last question lang din po. Regarding po sa 9 ex-military po, na tukoy na po ba kung ano pong kinabibilangan nilang organized crime group or may detalye na po ba tayo kaugnay dyan?
We will find that out after we pag meron akong mga resulta sa interview na gagawin ng NBI.
Thank you. May we hear from Ms. Bianca Dava?
Good afternoon po. Sir, gusto lang natin malaman po kung nasabi po ba nitong mga huling nag-surrender kung bakit natagalan sila mag-surrender and may nagkanong po ba sa kanila?
Wala kami specific answer for that. Just the field work took us to them. So it's really a matter of time na mangyayari. I think it's a decision on their part to do what they did.
May nagkanong po ba sa kanila, sir?
May
nagkanong po ba sa kanila?
meron sila, sabi ko nga, itong last batch, they were able to extricate themselves from after the battle, after the operation, nakapag-safe house pa sila, napunta pa sila sa ibang lugar, at doon sila kinausap pa sa ibang lugar. Kaya merong tumulong sa kanila. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Unless there are other questions, that ends our press conference this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. And of course, thank you very much to all our secretaries and heads of the agencies and members of the media. Thank you.